It's a big, deep story behind it. Big tycoon, across the bridge over in Palm Beach where all the whites are, the rich whites. What's his name? Flagler.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit video chat on Messenger. So you might go to your Facebook and open your Messenger, and you should see me calling you.
Okay, I'm not home.
Oh,
I just ran to the drugstore.
okay.
I'll be in about 2 minutes.
Okay, we'll call you back then, okay?
Okay, dear.
Okay, thanks.
Hey,
Hey,
girl.
how are you?
Hi.
That's her husband. That's my
Hey.
Hello.
How are you? That's
Good.
my pretty baby. You got a red head. Mine's not redhead.
Oh, yeah, but she's still beautiful. How are you doing?
How are you?
Good. I'm
Alright.
Trish.
I'm Devin.
I'm Victoria.
Nice to meet you,
Nice to meet
Victoria.
you. Alright.
Okay. So we're going to hang up from here and we're going to call you on that, okay?
Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Hey,
Hey,
alright.
there it is. So it is so very nice to meet
Yes,
you.
it is. How
Yes,
have you
yes,
been?
yes. I've been great. I've been great. Can't complain.
Alright.
Well,
Yeah.
you look great. You
70
look really
years old
good.
almost.
Amen.
Ah, you
Alright.
look wonderful. Let me
Thank
tell
you.
you, you're a
Thank,
beautiful lady.
thank you.
My grandmother worked at I think was it St. Mary's
Yes, St.
Hospital?
Mary's Hospital on
She
45th
worked
Street.
there for
Yeah.
like 40 years.
Wow. I probably know her.
Probably,
A
yeah.
lot of people know me and I don't know them, but more people know me than I know them. But a lot of people do know me
Okay.
because I was in the magazines, I was in the paper, Palm Beach Post, I was, all over the place all my life, because I started out, like I said, modeling, as a teenager. I started out at 17. I graduated from modeling school at 17. And I did that for many, many years. And then I got so interested in nursing, I decided to do that on the side, go to school while I
Mm-hmm.
was, modeling because I wanted to do that so bad. So I started
Right.
doing that. Yeah. See you guys. I'm telling you, I see the pictures. I watch everything you post. I always look at it, and I see the
Oh,
babies. All these you got some beautiful kids. That little redhead, I tell you. But
thank
see,
you.
I didn't never know why I had these. I thought it was like gold strings
Mm-hmm.
in my hair.
Yes.
My hair is naturally blonde.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I keep it black. But
Yeah.
it's naturally blonde. I have a dirty blonde, and
Uh-huh.
all my grandchildren are dirty blonde.
Wow.
Yeah, I had one just born couple of weeks ago, and one born 3 years ago. She came here totally blonde.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I'm telling you, looking like my twin. I was like,
Wow.
I said, y'all didn't have this baby. This is my baby. Give it up.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah,
It's
but that's.
funny
I mean, I
because
want. I have been interested in this for a long time. I did it for 21 years. I went all the way back to the 18th
go,
century.
go,
Okay.
So I
go.
have a lot of information. Now, my dad's side of the family was the hardest part because
Mm-hmm.
it's a big, deep story behind it. I know your husband may have heard the name since he know about West Palm Beach a little bit, and his brother here. Um, the big tycoon. Oh my God, his name on the tip of my tongue. Oh my God, over in Palm Beach, across the bridge over in Palm Beach where all the whites are, the rich whites. That's
Mm-hmm.
Palm Beach, and then you come across the bridge to West Palm Beach. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
What's his name? Flagler. Henry Flagler.
Yeah, yeah.
You heard that name
Yeah.
before?
Yep.
Well, guess what? Guess what, my dear?
Hmm.
I can't prove it, but he's our grandfather.
Huh.
Would that be on your dad's side?
Yes.
Huh.
Okay. That's interesting.
He's on my dad's side. That's why I wanted help. I got down to my grandmother. What happened? I went into the White House over there in Palm Beach. What he
Mm-hmm.
built for her. He married her. They killed her in the house.
Oh
Oh
wow.
wow.
Yeah, and they tell you the story. You go in the house right now, and they tell you all the story of him. He has a picture of her in the big, like what we would call the master living room. I would say,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not. They call it something else. But anyway, they got a big picture of her, but her face is white. Her
Hmm.
name was
Ah.
Geneva, and he married her, and they killed her
Why did they
and
kill her?
covered it up. I have no records of her death. I have no records of where she was buried. I've been doing this research and trying to find my great grandmother for so many years.
Go,
And then
child.
I finally found her, but the graveyard that she's at, I can't get to her because the man won't keep the graveyard up. It's very old, and
Hmm.
that he
Go.
think I'm after him because of the papers and the news and stuff. They running him down, trying to get him to.
We had some technical trouble here and had to briefly interrupt the filming. So, this will be a great time to give you a breakdown about what has been discussed thus far. I won't go into the full breakdown of our ancestry journey in this video. However, the last Ancestry DNA video I posted on June 17th provides a thorough breakdown of our journey and my lineage versus my husband Vlad's lineage. And just to let you know also, Vlad is also Devin. That's his real name. I encourage you to watch the video as well as all the previous episodes in the Ancestry Journey Life playlist. Here is a brief summary, though, of what's happening in this episode. We discover Vlad's family has a large percentage of Eastern European Russian ancestry. One of our daughters shows 17%. Vlad, who is her dad, my husband, shows 30%. Barbara, who we believe may be Vlad's half-aunt, shows 51%. This led us to believe that Vlad's grandfather could also possibly be full Eastern European. If that is true, then that should also mean that Barbara's father is full Eastern European, if Barbara is indeed Vlad's half-aunt. However, Barbara believes a black man is her father and that he was the grandson of Henry Flagler. I will discuss that more later on, but first let me give you some background about Henry Flagler. Henry Flagler was a rich businessman who helped to transform the Florida coast into the tourist attraction it is today. He started a business in the oil refinery industry. The company was called Standard Oil, and Flagler founded it with John D. Rockefeller. Flagler moved to Florida and started building hotels and railways. His net worth at his death was $60 million, which would be equivalent to over $1.5 billion today. Barbara believes that her father is a descendant of Henry Flagler. If her father is indeed Vlad's grandfather, then Vlad, my husband, could also be a descendant of Henry Flagler. We find this information to be very interesting. Barbara mentioned, though, that she cannot prove it, and I was not able to validate her claim in my research. The story Barbara shared about the woman being killed in Henry Flagler's house sounds similar to the story I found regarding Mary Lily Bingham. Mary Lily was Henry Flagler's third wife. When Henry Flagler died, Mary Lily went on to marry Robert Worth Bingham. 8 months after Mary Lily married Robert Worth Bingham, she died at her home, and Robert Worth Bingham, her new husband, took over the estate of almost $100 million. So we can see here how it's not always easy to untangle stories from history. Sometimes stories get intertwined with one another, and it makes it really hard to decipher what part of the story goes where. Now, you were saying they killed her in the house. Do you know why they killed her?
Because they didn't want them married to each other. She's black.
Hmm.
Oh,
That was the only black person in my family. Was my great grandmother.
uh-huh. Yeah.
He's a white man. He's the richest. If he knows Henry Flagler owned almost half of
Yeah.
Palm Beach County.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very, very, very big. He was like a big tackle. Him and Fowler and what's the other guy name? All these big tycoons around here. they all hung together and did a lot of bad stuff, you know.
Yeah, my brother
And
still tell you to this day he don't go over to Palm Beach Island at night.
that's what I'm talking about. 'Cause, you know, most of us, our ages, are
Mhm.
still afraid to go over there. It used to
Mhm.
be a time when you go over there, they would kill you. They catch you over there, they would kill you. And
Yep.
if you didn't kill you, they gave you so many tickets. So everything that you could have thought of done, they'll
Yep.
give you tickets and send you to jail.
Yep.
Wow.
You just didn't go over there. You know. See, what
Mm-hmm.
happened is it's a long story, but I'm gonna make it really short. It was our land. It was called the Sticks.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mhm.
raised so much hell about it, did the history on it, and raised so much hell about it. We had them to actually put it in every library and train stations. It's on the walls and stuff. How they told the blacks to come over across the bridge, they was going to do a big barbecue and give away food. They
Mm-hmm.
came over. By the time they went back, they had bulldozed all their houses and everything down
Oh
and
my
took the land.
gosh.
They took the island. It's a beautiful island. If you look at
Mhm.
Florida and look at that little water over there on the over by the Atlantic
Mhm.
Ocean,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see a body of opening there. That's where Palm Beach is on the other side by the ocean. There's
Wow.
a little strip of land that was called the Sticks, and that was where we lived. We weren't allowed over in West Palm Beach. All
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
black people were over there. And I know a couple of people that was born and raised over there, you know, and was there
Mm-hmm.
when this happened. But it's a big thing, you know, and like I said, Fowler and Flagler and all those got big tycoons. What was the other one named? Carnegie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all these big men. I mean, if you go and look up anything in West Palm Beach, you'll hear all these names
Mhm.
because these were the men who had the money. These were the men who had everything, and they found out that my grandmother was a laundress. She did his laundry.
Mm.
They would come across the bridge into blacks' houses and drop off their laundry, and on their way back home from work, they stop back by and pick it up, you know, on their way home. And they fell in love, and he married her. And when
Mm-hmm.
they found out she was married to him, they killed her. I can't find the marriage certificate. I can't find nothing. They covered all of it. I went through all the newspapers back in that time and about the incident of her being died. There's a man that's living right now that was his best friend, and he know the story. He told me the story,
Mm-hmm.
and he's I think he's 102 or something like that, and he's still alive, and he knows everything about the whole thing. And he told me, and he said, "You're never gonna prove it, but I was just, you know, telling you the truth, you know, and that is the truth." And I told him, I said, he said, "Go over in the house. They'll tell you the whole story in there, but they don't tell you that she was black. They don't tell you that she was his mistress." And the picture on the wall is a huge portrait on the wall of her, but with a
Mm-hmm.
white face, and they got her name on it, Geneva.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hot mess. It really is. It really is.
Well,
But we came from a really deep family. Yeah, Eastern European.
yeah,
Most
I
of
saw that
yeah,
your
that's what.
results showed 49%.
Yes. No.
Okay.
Well, actually, it was 57%. And when they started giving me all the people that was around, um, that's when I first got my DNA back. And when they started giving me all of my cousins and started giving me all the different people and everything, they started dropping the percentage. You know,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Our viewers have a lot of questions for you, right? They are
Okay.
very interested in your story
Yeah.
and how you connect with my husband.
Yes.
And here's the reason why, as I shared with you, that we always questioned who his real grandfather was.
Yes.
And so this is how I actually consulted with what was he, genealogist, and he said that based upon the CMs that you match, so CMs are centimorgan, so basically it's the DNA relatedness.
Right.
He's saying because it's so high, it looks like you're Devin's half aunt.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would make you his dad's half sister,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem with that. His dad never told us he had a half sister.
Okay.
And
Well,
I'm
see,
sure
that's
you.
the thing about our parents. Okay, they were. It was like that's why I was telling you the story about Flagler. it's so much cover up and so much stuff that they did back in the day,
Right.
that trying to find out all of it and get all the truth about it is just
It's
difficult
hard.
because so much happened.
Hmm.
So I have no clue whether I'm actually his aunt or
Were you raised by your dad or your mom or
no. I was raised by my mother. My
by your
dad,
mother?
yeah, my dad took off, went up to Ohio and followed his mother and decided to be there, not really knowing what's happening with what was in West Palm Beach because he just wanted. He was living with his grandmother. She was mistreating him, and
Mm.
that was his father's mother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all my dad's parents on his mother's side was the good people. That's where you come in on his mother's side, not his dad's side.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where all of the hair colors and eye colors and all this crazy stuff comes from. is
Yeah.
the is the
Well,
mother's side, yeah.
here's where some people think though. I'm just gonna throw it out there because they ask us about this.
Yeah,
They're questioning because you have such a high percentage of European.
yeah.
They're questioning whether or not your real father is actually white.
No. I just told you,
Yeah.
Flagler is my grandfather. He is a real white man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But my daddy was just as much, was a little whiter than me. So, you know, my mother was a Tongan from the island of Tonga.
Okay.
Yeah, no, um, my mother was Cherokee, yeah, Cherokee Indian and Tongan. Her my great great, I told you I went all the way back to the 18th century with them on my mother's
Right.
side. And my uh, family came from the island of Tonga. Tonga is on the other side of Hawaii. The thing is that there were only a few blacks in my mother's side. So that when Devin say that my high percentage, my mother, fourth mother, was a bed wench, and she left the whole northern Florida. He loved her, and he left all that property and all that land up there to her. And uh, he was the master. So she was his main squeeze. And when they did that, I have the actual copy of my. See, I was made the highest ranking over genealogy that you can here in West Palm Beach with my church. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
Latter-day Saint. I don't know
Okay.
if you
Okay.
heard
Got
that,
you.
the Latter-day Saint Mormons,
Mm-hmm.
and what we have is all the rights to most of the genealogy there is. So
Mm-hmm.
when I go in my genealogy office and sit in there, I have access to everything. We don't have to
Mm-hmm.
pay for anything. All of the notes. So I was able to dig and get a lot of information because I had so much access to tapes. I could send off any tape I needed or any boat that came in from Africa or whatever. I did all that before I found out I was from Tonga. I did a lot of work, and it was hard work,
Yeah.
for all those years. And then I finally just gave up when my couldn't go no further with my grandmother. I just got tired. I mean,
Yeah.
I was just overwhelmed with dead ends.
Right.
When they killed her, that left me with not even finding out who her mother was or whatever. I couldn't go no further.
Yeah.
So but I never. I mean, I didn't really give up because anytime somebody reached out to me, that's why I put my information
Mm-hmm.
um, on my ancestry of files because I want to know by doing my DNA that somebody might see it like you
Right.
and then contact me, and then we may
Well,
figure stuff out, together.
yeah.
So
But
as a family, yeah.
when you do DNA though, it can open a can of worms too,
Oh yeah.
because sometimes
Oh yeah.
it'll show that what we thought isn't actually, what it is. Like, I know his father pretty seems to be pretty adamant about who his father is.
He
And
wasn't.
you
He wasn't raised by. He was only raised by grandma.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was raised by his mother,
Yeah.
but he's adamant about who his father is, just like you're adamant about who your father is.
Yeah.
The DNA shows you both likely have the same father. The question becomes who that was, whether or not his story's true or your story's true, or
Yeah.
if neither is true, right?
Okay.
Because
But my DNA matches with my father, so I do know that he is my father.
okay.
Yeah,
Did
so
he
I
get a
do know.
DNA
But like
test?
I said, the information with my father can't go past his grandmother. You understand? Because they killed her. Um, so it's hard for me to find out any more information because Flagler is, like I said, is a white man, big tycoon here, and they ain't gonna let you get no information off of that. You know, they got everything covered. They when I say they cover their tracks, they
Oh,
cover
I'm
their tracks.
sure. I'm
Baby, I am
sure.
not the one to tell me no. Don't tell me no.
Right.
I don't believe
Yes.
in the word no, and don't tell me what you can't do. You know,
Yes.
I don't believe in those words. Can't and no, I don't like. And
Uh-huh.
I will figure a way out to do it one way or the other. And like I said, and I've run into so many brick walls. And see, and I also do know that with my beliefs in my church, that there's a time for everything. That's one of my favorite scriptures. Is there a time and season for everything? And it's just maybe not time for us to know yet. You know, maybe they don't want us to know, you know, because our mothers did a lot of things. They did a lot of damage back there, you know. And like you say, we so confused, we don't even know who's who, you know. But our DNA is putting us together, and all we got to do is just try to figure it out because we can't go to them and ask them anything because they're not going to tell us.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I have actually, believe it or not, I have a lady that was my grandmother's ace coon, number one, and she know everything and she will not. Daddy said, good luck with that, Barbara. You're not going to get nothing from her. I've been trying. He said, my mama was her, she will not give it up. And she is still living. She's about 102 or 103. She won't talk. And she in her right
They
mind.
don't. Yeah.
They won't
Wow.
tell you. They
They
won't tell you.
like
It
to
was
keep
so
it a
much dirt
secret.
done. Oh yeah, it was so much secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So we really don't know. So we just gonna have to try to figure it out ourselves. You know, that's
That's
why I
the
want to
problem. Yeah,
connect with
that's what
you.
it
Yeah,
is.
that's why I
Well,
want to
let me
connect with
ask you this though, because you said that you know for sure your dad is your dad.
you. Yeah.
Did you guys get a DNA test?
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't through Ancestry though, right? It
No.
was okay.
Daddy got his through another company that came out right when this all started with the DNA. You know, big here about 5 years ago. That's when he did his, but it was a different company, and I didn't know
How?
that he was
Oh,
going
you.
through
So
this
you
company.
were you able to match like?
No,
Did you
no,
upload it?
no. I wasn't able to get anything but the information proving that he was my father. Other than that, I couldn't get anything else. My dad died, and he had a daughter. No, he had a girl that he raised as his daughter. And this hussy just was so nasty and so mean. When my dad died, she took everything. She took my dad had a big portfolio of me, modeling all my years and everything, and all my pictures. I gave them to him. You know, my daddy was my life. You know,
Yeah.
I tell men in a heartbeat, don't screw with your daughters, because
Right.
we love our daddies like
Yeah.
nothing.
That is.
You
Isn't
know,
that the
he
truth?
is the king of our lives, and I'm telling you, that man was everything to me, and I
Mhm.
gave him everything. I mean, I was actually, you're not going to believe that when he was taking his last breath, I was trying to call him.
Mm.
I was on the phone. We talked every day, all day, and both of us are talkers. And you probably done gathered that already. But we are definitely talkers, and I tell you, you know, we would burn each other's ears up. And he'd tell me, my arm hurting. What's wrong with you? You know, he get tired of holding the phone. But no, but I tell you, the thing is that I knew that, and I couldn't get the information. I tried to get that information before I left from the funeral. He was in Ohio, Toledo, and I
Mhm.
had to fly up to Toledo to the funeral and stuff. Um, Trying to get into his house was impossible because I couldn't find either one of my brothers. And going through his stuff, and the little man that's supposed to be my grandfather. That man is so black.
Well, see, that's
charcoal
the problem we're
black.
having.
There is no way in West Hell that he was my grandfather. But
Yeah.
she married him, you know. See, that's what I'm telling you about these women. We had some beautiful grandmothers and great grandmothers, don't get me wrong, but they
Uh-huh.
had their secrets, baby. They had their
Yeah,
secrets,
they
Mm-hmm.
and I
did.
tell you. And
Well,
it's killing us, you know.
that's what we're having, because the man that your grandmother said was,
Dad, this
he was
dark brother.
really dark.
I mean, Bert,
And
brother was dark. And I'm looking
But
like,
this
ain't
man is
no
dark.
way.
This man, what we talking about, is he is dark.
yeah,
Dark, dark, dark.
yeah, so that's why we thought that couldn't be his, you know, their real father, because I sent you the pictures. You see how light they are,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
And their mother was dark. So
Mm-hmm.
it just didn't make sense to us that,
Yeah, but at least he had the red hair like the baby.
yes, he does, but I'm saying his father, she told him that his father was dark skinned,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't believe that. That's
Ain't no way. I'll put it up close.
Yes. So she was brown skinned.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
my grandmother Ruth.
Yeah. Pretty lady.
And the man she said was their father was dark skinned.
Real.
So how she's having white looking kids with red hair, we just couldn't add that up, right?
Okay, but just let me tell you something too, just to show you how our fathers and stuff was doing back in the day. My father came here in 75 or 76, I think it was. I believe I just turned 21, if I can count back, whatever. Anyway, he came here and they had a big fight out in the middle of the streets where my great grandmother's house was. That's where we all was at. Cause he was jealous of my mother.
Oh.
She was jealous. His girlfriend that he brought with him.
Mhm.
Our cousin, the lady I'm telling you about that's still alive,
Mhm.
her name is Vienna. She is his first cousin, and they married each other.
Mm.
We come in there trying to meet the rest of the family. He was trying to gather us all together to meet everybody. And
Uh-huh.
it ended up he brought this girlfriend with him. The girl I told you that's supposed to be my sister that he raises his baby, that was her
Yes.
baby. Well, he brought her and her baby with him.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And when they got out there and he started talking, I guess watching my mother again. My
Mhm.
mother was a little short, dark skinned, bow legged, really. I could take a basketball and throw it between her legs and wouldn't touch them. And
Wow.
he loved them legs. You hear me? Oh my goodness. And so he must have been caught watching her. And
Ah,
she took her purse and hit him upside the head
yeah.
with the purse. And they started a big family fight. Okay.
Wow.
Huge family fight. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I'm telling you, I mean, there was no police or nothing. You know, we were just fighting, you know.
Right.
And Vienna was my cousin standing across the street
Mhm.
looking in on everything like she wasn't a part of the family.
Mm.
I saw this lady, I didn't know who she was.
Mhm.
And I also saw Daddy looking, you know, because he don't know how to hide, you know, his facial stuff, you know. I was like, Daddy, who's that? And he goes, nobody. I say, oh, somebody. And so he said, no, 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 nobody. And I said, well, I thought everything out here was for family. He said, yeah, well, she one of our distant cousins. Well, he went back home, took this woman back to Toledo, okay? And 2 weeks later, they were married. And the people that was fighting, none of them was involved in that. He married somebody totally different. So that means they were down there as kids doing this stuff.
Mm.
Cousins, little cousins, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I said, boy, this is why her mother won't tell me nothing.
But
It's
so
so
you're
much dirt.
saying,
It's so much dirt.
you said some first cousins married each other, or how?
Yeah. My daddy
Okay.
married his first cousin, Diana.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah,
So
you
that's
know
what I'm
it
saying, you know, and
happens.
back in our years, back 70 years ago, it was really bad. You
Right.
thought we were bad. Oh no, no, no. Sister, you start going and digging up stuff, you find out a whole lot of things that don't work, don't match, don't fit.
See, we keep thinking that you're matching to the grandfather, But the problem is, because you also match to a relative from Grandma Ruth's side, that you could possibly be related to both of them.
Because I found
But
marriage license and stuff that I didn't know. I said, wait a minute, I didn't know they were married, to each other. It was a mess. I found out a lot of stuff, And like I told the lady, Diana's mother, who is still living, I don't want your dirt. I don't want my grandmother's dirt. I don't want to make my grandmother look like a bad person. If
exactly.
she's a bad person, she made herself a bad person. I don't want to know that
Yes.
part of it. All I want
Right.
to do is know my family's names, and so I can
Yes.
put them together, and birth dates and death dates. That's
You know,
crazy.
when we get everything straightened out, we need to have a family reunion. I'm telling you,
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
we need to
yes.
come to West
I
Palm
would
Beach.
love to.
Mhm.
I would love to meet your father. I would love to meet, the family, and your children. Because like I said, we may not know how we are, but we know we are. You know,
Mhm.
You know
and
what would
that
be
means
great?
enough to me. That means of the world to
Absolutely.
me.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you're a let me tell you how close related you are. So my mom has a half sister, right?
Mhm.
And a half sister that I grew up, I never call her my half aunt or anything. She was just my aunt.
Uh huh.
Um, and I grew up with her and whatever because she helped
Yes.
raise me. But you and Devin have a higher relatedness than me and my half aunt, who I know
Really?
is my half aunt. Like, she and I have something like 750 CMs.
Uh huh.
You and Devin have 1,057
Wow.
CMs. You see
Wow.
that? So
That's a
I
big difference.
that is a
Well,
huge difference.
bruh, a nephew or whatever I love you. Don't you
Well,
ever doubt it, and you guys can always call him in.
when there
But
are
I'm
DNA
telling you, I'm looking
secrets,
at him, and I feel like I look like him.
you
Mhm.
do. You
I'm serious.
absolutely
I'm looking at his
do.
cheeks. I'm looking at his smile. I'm
Uh
serious. And
huh.
that little bitty nose, I ain't got none. And that
Yeah.
little bitty nose and them queechy eyes, I'm looking at him. We look alike.
I'm saying
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yes.
And definitely, even with his cousin Mimi, you know, his uncle's daughter, everyone thought the same thing, that you and her look alike.
To be a part of your family and be a part of mine,
Yeah,
and
for
we get to
sure.
really know each other, really truly, and hopefully visit each other or see each other one way or the other. I'm not the
Oh,
one for flying,
Absolutely.
but because I'm looking at this man,
yeah,
and I'm
exactly.
going, Jesus, I look just like him almost.
Yeah, he
Oh
could
my
be your
goodness.
son for sure,
Yes,
right?
the smile, everything. I'm looking at him and
Uh
going,
huh.
oh my goodness. So what I'm thinking, and what I believed, that our parents were so bad
Hmm.
doing their little dirt and doing all their little stuff, trying to hide all these little secrets. That's why we don't know who we are, because they try
Yeah,
to hide it all, and we just need to find out. We don't need to
yeah,
go find out who did who what. We just need to
right.
find out who they
Yeah,
are,
that's it.
and that's all I
Mhm.
wanted her to know. I just want to know who they are. I don't
Now,
care, you
you
know.
mentioned your dad's DNA is in. He tested with another company. I'm wondering if we could possibly upload your DNA and
And
match
maybe
that.
find it and trick. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All he wanted to make sure I was his baby and I was his firstborn child. My daddy loved me so much, but I
Mhm.
think that's all he really wanted, and that's why he did it secretly. And then he told me, but I could
Um,
never find it. And
you
then,
can
like I
never
say, when he
find
died,
it,
yeah, I never found it. And I didn't know what company. I tried to
and you
get him to
still
tell me
haven't
that.
found it, huh?
No, no.
Oh,
Yes, you
and
are
and
definitely a beautiful lady. I tell you, and I like you
and you're fun to talk
100%.
with. I mean,
Yes.
thank you so much for
Thank
everything.
you.
And now we know that you're the resident DNA expert,
Mhm.
Yeah,
with
we're
all
gonna
those
find out. We're
connections.
gonna really get into it, and we're gonna get together more, and we're gonna
Yeah.
try to figure it out.